couple examples of some of the modern connection derailers that you and I are experiencing. Busyness is the number one we saw when we surveyed all those folks. They said the busyness, the sense of hurriedness is what's causing us to overlook those connections. And it's been proven. We've looked at the research. When we are time constrained, we neglect engaging with others. And so busyness is top of the list as it relates to derailing our connections with others. Technology and social media was the number 2 rated as causing the most disconnect amongst others. Dependency shift, let me give you a good example of this one to give you a little bit more context on what this is. So I have 3 children. I live in Atlanta, Georgia. I have 3 children under 6, so a very busy household there in Atlanta. And we were recently celebrating my youngest first birthday. And these days, when your child has a first birthday, you go bananas and you go all out for a birthday that they'll never remember. It's kind of crazy, but that's what you do. So there we were preparing all this food for this big party, and we invited one of our young sitters over, our family friend. She's a Gen Zer, and we were preparing all the food, and my wife turned to her name is Cassidy, and she said, "Hey Cassidy, can you open up this can and put that on this dish?" She said, "Sure thing," grabbed the can. I was also in the kitchen, so I'm working on things, and then we noticed, a few minutes passed, we noticed there wasn't any activity happening over there with Cassidy and that can. And so we investigated a little bit further, and it turns out she was actually on her phone. You know, we thought, oh no, she's gotten distracted already. We gotta pull her out of her device and have her tend to that can. But then we investigated further, and she actually wasn't distracted. She was actually being extraordinarily resourceful because she was on YouTube watching a video on how to operate a manual can opener. She'd never used one of those before. So that connects to this idea of dependency shift. You and I are less dependent on each other than ever before. If something breaks in your home, you're not going across the street to a neighbor, you're not necessarily calling a parent. We actually most of us will go to YouTube to figure out how to fix that. We are less dependent on each other than ever before. That's contributing to our sense of isolation. Immediacy is factoring in. Remote work, as you can imagine, is factoring into all this. Always on work culture. We do a lot of work in the legal field, and this is one they struggle with big time. Overly professional, right? We're not taking opportunities like Scott did to share some of our stories so that we could fully connect with others. And then last but not least is lack of purpose. So these are the top 8 that we've identified as causing the most disconnection.